There are reports out now that by the middle of July, the world's reserve supply of wheat might be completely exhausted. This is uncharted territory. The world's never been here before, at least not in modern times. And I'm sure a lot of you are asking yourselves the question, as am I. Are we prepared? What have we missed? Is there something else that can be done? In today's video, I'd like to focus once again on the preparation of the mind, because I think it's more critical than people are giving it credit for. A friend of mine over at the Truth Social app put this picture up trying to be funny. But the more I looked at it, the more I realized you could answer all of these questions by asking one simple question. It says here, dating before 2020, she was saying, is he masculine? Does he have a good job? Could I see myself marrying him? And then she says, well, dating now, is he unvaxxed? Could I see myself homesteading off-grid with him? Is he post-apocalyptic warlord material? Now, that last one's kind of funny. But you could ask one question that would subsume all of these questions. I'm sure a lot of you are scratching your head. Really? Is there one question? Absolutely. There's one question you could ask. Is he a good steward? Now, I know that's a word most people aren't familiar with, since they've gotten rid of the whole idea of stewardesses on airplanes, not realizing that, of course, there were stewards, men who did the exact same jobs. You could ask yourself, is he masculine? That's just asking, is he a good steward of the body God gave him? Does he take care of it? Does he honor himself? Does he have a good job? Is he a good steward of his time, of his money? Could I see myself marrying him? Well, what makes a good mate in real life? What would you need to be a steward of? Well, of course, your word. You would have to maintain your word. Is he unvaxxed? Once again, that's being a good steward of your body. Could I see myself homesteading off-grid with him? That would take in a whole series of things you would need to be good steward toward. Post-apocalyptic warlord material? Well, if you had men that were looking to you for leadership, once again, stewardship would apply to all of those. And that's a biblical principle. See, a lot of guys see this image and they would agree with it. Where do you see yourself in 6 to 12 months? You have, of course, the character from The Patriot hiding behind a tree with a musket and a black powder pistol. And there's a bunch of UN blue hats with, what do they like to call them? Assault weapons and radios, all marching by. You see, a man who is a good steward would not engage a group like this. Unfortunately, there are too many men out there that would and are going to end up in places like this. Which brings me to the topic of what we're going to discuss. What then happens to the ladies in our lives? Sisters, daughters, mothers, aunts, nieces. If you decide to be gung-ho, Rambo, and go get yourself captured. You may have trained them. You may have shown them how to use certain weapons, but they will still be just by themselves, left to fend for themselves. Funny story. That is the plot of season 1 of Colony. And I truly think this is going to be a bigger issue than many are giving it credit for. That there are going to be a lot of guys who've just been chomping at the bit, waiting for an event like this, and they're going to go run out, and they're going to go get themselves rounded up. In today's earlier live, I asked my audience a question about these FEMA camps that they're going to put people in. Have you seen anywhere where they said there's going to be male and female separate FEMA camps? No, there's not. And what is a FEMA camp? It's basically just a giant open-air prison, isn't it? So what would happen? in reality, in a grid down situation, shit hits the fan without rule of law, where they were just rounding people up, and you had 1,000 guys and 50, 75, 100 women in a giant open air prison, what would happen? What would happen? You see, in this particular series, Colony, this guy gets himself locked up because he's going to be a hero. He's going to go run off and save their kid all by himself, doesn't even tell her about it. He disappears, he's gone, he doesn't come home. She's forced to do things. She's forced to go talk to the leader of the local resistance group. And he's not real happy about the results that then occur once he's free again. For lack of a conversation, you could have gotten rid of the entire plot of season 1 of Colony for one conversation. Over at Patreon, we've been talking about this idea of what specifically women should look for in a shit it's the fan situation. What plans should they make? The next video we're going to do, and we're going to do a part 2 of it, is going to talk about when ladies are going to have to realize it's time to go. It's time to get away from the houses, get out of the neighborhoods, because you can only defend so much. See, this guy could have only taken out so many. You can only defend yourself so much with a weapon like this. I had another guy show up in the comment section and say that I have a shotgun. It's a 4+1, and I've got 2 rounds for surprise. I'm like, if you're in a home defense situation and you can't be assured that you can win the confrontation with 5 shotgun rounds, you need an escape plan. If you think you need 7, you need an escape plan. We're going to be talking about this more in detail over at Patreon. Over the last 4 to 5 days, I have seen the largest increase ever in those signing up, talking about specifically to women what you should plan for, what you should look for. I don't think a lot of people thought about this. Oh yeah, FEMA camps, giant open air prisons. They're not going to segregate. They're not going to have separate facilities. Then what? See, this goes on overseas, but it doesn't make the news. Do you want your loved one? I'm talking to guys now. I'm talking to my guy audience. Do you want your loved ones, your wives, your sisters, your nieces, forced to take a piece of plastic out in the middle of the woods, try to remember things they heard you talking about, live under a tarp with a dog, because you're not around? Because you wanted to go be a hero. See, things are about to get hard, a lot harder. And there's going to be challenges people just didn't see, they didn't foresee. You see, I look at an image like this, and some people would look at it and go, wow, what a neat old house. Can you imagine what that was like, when it was new? When people were living in it, and you see this car parked here, and you're like, man, I'll bet that was an awesome vehicle in its day. What do you see here? All you see here is a lack of stewardship. Somebody just said, I'm not taking care of it anymore. I'm going to let it go back to nature. That's all you're seeing here. You take care of the car, you put it in a shelter, you keep it clean, you keep the fluids changed, you maintain it, you paint the house, you fix the windows, you mend the porch. You don't let everything grow up. It could be that way. See, it's a great house, but it's a dilapidated old wreck now. Why? Stewardship. It's just that simple. And one thing that has been done well, if there's anything at all you could say that distinguishes Florida from the rest of this country during this difficult time, is we have a lot of old people, older folks, who understand the concept of good stewardship and how you can make things last, even though they're not perfect, even though it's not easy, even though it isn't fun, or even at times fulfilling. Stewardship over the relationships, stewardship over the community, stewardship over their finances, stewardship over their lives. It all boils down to this. And that's what I wanted the theme of this video to be. Stewardship. Being a good steward. I do my very best over at Patreon, at least once a week, sometimes more. Get something out there that people can take away something good from. Make their lives better. I try to do that here at YouTube to the very best of my ability. Unfortunately, those who run the platform don't really allow it all that much, because you need to be able to speak openly and frankly. And we can do that over at Patreon because of Vimeo. And we can illustrate things in a way that they need to be illustrated so that folks can understand where I'm coming from and what I truly believe the solution will be, so that we don't see this. It's not about being a hero. It's about using good wisdom and being a good steward. So I'll leave it there. God bless. Have a great week. Like, share, subscribe. We'll see you guys next time.